What's up everyone, Jorge Contreras here, and in this video I am going to be speaking to the entrepreneurs that want to take their business and impact to the next level, or if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you definitely want to watch this video. Let's jump right in. So I am definitely biased when it comes to entrepreneurship. I come from humble beginnings where my parents came from Mexico with the philosophy and belief that the American dream and the way to create success here was to find a decent paying job and work hard. But over the years, as I did do that, when I was 20 years old, 16 to 20, I had a job, I worked my butt off, and the result was very minimal. And I realized that, just like Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to need a job until the day you die. And so over the years, I've learned, rather than work for money to make more money work for me, rather than work for someone else's business, I'd rather work for my business and create a legacy, something that one day I could pass on to my family. So today I want to share with you my biggest philosophies and takeaways for either entrepreneurs that want to take it to the next level or aspiring entrepreneurs. So here are some of the philosophies that I want to share with you today. Okay, number one is that you only have two options, right? You're either going to build your dream or someone's going to hire you to build theirs. And then you could look up Jim Rohn. He has some of the best quotes in the world, but he says, if you don't have a plan for yourself, you're going to fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not very much. The next philosophy is the 40-40-40 trap. Most people go to school for 4 years, right, to then go and get a degree in a high-paying job to go and work for someone else, and they get into debt that they can never get rid of, even if they file for bankruptcy. And they end up working 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life to then retire on 40% of the income, which wasn't enough in the first place. I would completely call this a scam. You see, most people think that hiring a coach or a mentor is a scam, and I get it. There's bad people in every industry, in every part of the world, okay? But how is this not a scam or a trap, right? Because basically, legally, you have to give up half of your money to Uncle Sam. If any one of us did that, we would go to jail. But the IRS can do that legally, and all of that is supposed to go to roads and schools and all this stuff, but that's not true. The Federal Reserve is owned by people no different than you and me. It's not federal, there's no reserves, and again, it's owned by people no different than you and me. Just look up the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island, and it'll teach you how central bankers got together in 1912 and created the Federal Reserve and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Okay? And these are all central bankers. It's not government. It has nothing to do with the government. But anyways, that's for you to do some research later, okay? The next thing I'll share is that there's really two ways that you could take in life. You could work for 40 years of your life to then retire and have 10 years of freedom. Or you could spend 10 years building a business so that you can have 40 years of freedom. I'll never forget, in 2012, my wife and I went on vacation to Cancun, Mexico. And they picked us up in the airport on the little Apple buses, and they took us to our all-inclusive resort. And it was me, my wife, and this older couple. They were about 68, 67 years old. And it was really sad to see that this older gentleman had multiple back surgeries and he could barely walk. He was using his cane. He had a hard time getting on the van, a hard time getting off the van. And then we asked him, hey, what brings you to Cancun? And they said, you know what? Now that we worked so hard our entire lives, we finally get to enjoy life. And me and my wife looked at ourselves and we said, you know what? This is why we are entrepreneurs and business owners, so that we can have complete time, financial, and location freedom, and we can run our online businesses from anywhere in the world. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should be an entrepreneur, okay? At the end of the day, that's why it's an option, right? You can do whatever is good for you because it's not a one size fits all. The next philosophy, okay? School versus mentorship. I remember this one day, I was sitting at the DMV and I'm just waiting there, and of course I'm texting and we're communicating. This is when I used to do the communications for all of my Airbnbs, and I'm communicating to guests before and after, and this old lady is sitting next to me and she's like, oh, today's generation is so interesting. Everyone is just on their phone and not really doing anything productive, and they don't really talk to each other anymore. And I looked at her and I said, actually, I'm making money right now. I have a business that I run online. And she's like, really? And so I started telling her about my business and how I automate my Airbnbs and how I run them 100% from my phone. So then she looked at me and she's like, wow, you're so successful. Did you have to go to school to learn how to do this? And then I said to her, I said, look, I didn't have to go to school, but I did have to get educated. And so here's the thing, I did 7th grade twice. I graduated high school with 4 F's and 1 D. And then I went to college for a few semesters and then dropped out and started my business at the young age of 20 and never looked back. I just jumped off the mountain and I built an airplane on the way down. Just like Tony Robbins says, if you want to take over the island, you gotta burn the boats. And so everything that I learned about entrepreneurship and investing and passive income and time, financial, location, freedom, I didn't learn any of that at school, because in school they wanted to teach me how to get a job, right? They wanted me to pay for school to learn how to work for someone else's business. That wasn't for me, okay? So the way I learned how to be an entrepreneur and an investor is from mentors. So instead, from age 20 up until now, I'm 32. So what I decided to do is pay mentors and coaches to teach me how to create a result and outcome that I desired, that they had already created and mastered. And what that did is it saved me time, it saved me money, and I didn't have to go through all the mistakes and reinventing the wheel. The second option is I could have tried to figure it all on my own, but then I would pay the price in the back end by wasting time, wasting money, procrastinating. And I learned that every time I don't invest in the front end, I end up paying the price in the back end. And the price in the back end is a lot more expensive than what I would pay a coach and mentor to avoid all of that. So that's my philosophy on school versus mentor. Is like, look, if you want to become a dentist, lawyer, doctor, then I don't know of any other way to do that. I think you're going to have to go to school. And my only suggestion is that if you want to learn how to become an entrepreneur, business owner, after you get your degree to be one of those two things, go and find an entrepreneur, somebody that owns 5 or 10 hospitals, 5 or 10 dentist locations, and figure out how they did it so you can go from the left quadrant to the right quadrant and become an entrepreneur rather than an employee or self-employed, okay? The last philosophy, and this is something that has made an impact in every aspect of my life, and especially in entrepreneurship and in business, and it has to do with the law of attraction. So the law of attraction says that everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. This is why goal setting is very important, because there is an absolute power behind it when you are physically and involved emotionally and you are writing down your goals, creating and manifesting your future. Because the law of attraction says that you are the architect of your life and that you can start from a blank canvas. No matter if you're 15, 25, 35, 60 years old, you can always recreate yourself if you believe it to be. The law of attraction talks about ask, believe, receive. Ask the universe, the higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. Believe that it's possible, and then be ready to receive all of the blessings and all of the abundance. If you want to learn more about the law of attraction, there is a really good documentary as well as a book and a bunch of videos on YouTube. Just look up The Secret. And again, that's where it talks about the law of attraction. You can also look up Lisa Nichols. She is an author, speaker, transformational coach, and she's a big part of The Secret, one of the authors, and I've learned a lot from her in person, from her books, from all her YouTube videos. Sometimes when I'm working out or I'm in my sauna, I'm listening to the law of attraction, right? So one of the cool things about this is you can find audiobooks or YouTube videos where they're talking about the law of attraction. And rather than be driving and listening to music or working out and listening to music, listen to something that's going to impact and transform your lives and help you get one step closer to your goals. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. Follow me on Instagram, where I upload videos every single day. And last but not least, if you guys have any comments, please put them below and I'll make sure to get back to every single one of you. Thanks so much. See you next time.